What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm your host, Devin. This is your other host, Melo. And I got something to admit. When I announce like this and I say, I'm your host, Devin, I get confused on what to say next because we're both hosts. You know what I'm saying? So it throws me off every time. I need to figure that out before I hit record and get it so it's smoother. You know what I mean?
I think it was fine.
Maybe I should edit this out. Nah, not going to.
Nah,
Anyway,
give
today,
them the
what's
raw.
up? What's up, Buckeye Nation? We're bringing to you what we promised we were going to bring to you for quite some time. I know it's been a minute, but we take a lot of passion in this area of football, which is recruiting. So we wanted to make sure we had all our ducks in a row, all our research done and all that. So there's quite a bit of time invested in this stuff. I know it's pretty early to talk about 2026 recruits. But man, if you're passionate like we are about it, you're going to love to hear about it. So obviously things can change, but we're going to do one position group at a time. And we're going to start today with the wide receivers because can't start with the quarterbacks because nobody really knows anything about the 2026 quarterbacks. So we'll start with that. Melo, you got anything to add about our recruiting videos we're going to be talking about?
This is where we thrive. This is where our true passion is outside of the team. This is the lifeblood of the team. So recruiting is essential to what we do and what we want to do, on top of just being a fan channel, a true fan channel. We know a lot of people out there call themselves a fan channel, but they're really not. They're more of a chat interacting channel. But we want to bring the fans on. We want to talk recruiting. And hopefully down the road we'll have a special guest join us on one of our recruiting episodes to go over it with us. But right now we want to start off with the best wide receiver in the country, and
Yep.
his name is Chris Henry. So what you got, Dev?
Well, dude, not only did he get an Ohio State offer, he's currently committed to the class. So that's a good thing. So all the rankings I talk about were pulled from 247, and they are the composite rankings. So, if you want to know more, you can get on there and look for yourselves how he's ranked on different things. But the composite ranking for him, he's the number 3 player nationally. He's the number 1 wide receiver. The information I pulled up was a 4.5 second 40-yard dash. He's 6'6", 195 pounds. Now, you're going to see this pattern of when we tell you these measurements and these times. Melo might have found something different, and he's going to share that as well, because we just want to give you guys the information that we find. You put it together, you do your thing with it. So, man, he's the son of the late Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver, Chris Henry. This dude is long. He's agile, lateral quickness is off the charts, explosive out the gate. He stops and starts on a dime, huge catch radius, sure-handed, dominant, absolutely dominant in the jump ball, multiple camp MVPs. The dude also comes from a very athletic family. His sister is considered one of the top 2024 basketball recruits. His younger brother is considered one of the top 2027 basketball recruits. During the 2023 football season at Cincinnati Withrow, he was an all-state selection and racked up about 1,127 yards, 10 touchdowns with 71 receptions in 14 games. So right now I know that I believe his guardian is T. Higgins, an NFL star receiver. Am I correct in saying that, or is it just his close
No, his
friend or
guardian
something?
was Pac-Man Jones, but
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah,
something happened with Pac-Man Jones, and now he's in California with his family.
Gotcha.
So,
Yep.
and his sister is actually committed. She's a freshman right now. She's at Ohio State. She's playing on the basketball team.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So I guess the T. Higgins thing is like I read an article about how like he's really close with T. Higgins in the NFL. So yeah, man, that's what I got on him. I think he's probably the most talked about probably recruit in the 2026 class. If you ask me, everybody's talking about him. All the recruiting services. He's just, you know, off the charts, just going to get better. So what do you got on him, Melo?
I found somewhere where I guess he gained some weight. He gained about 10 pounds. He's at 205.
Yeah,
Um, Fluid hips, elite route runner. Obviously, he high points the ball, hands catcher. He's a nightmare in the red zone. I mean, it's hard for a DV to cover 6'6" height, you know.
yeah,
So, and then with that weight, he's strong. So you can't really press him. He has elite footwork. So if you try to press him, he could defeat you with that or his just raw strength. And he's going to jump over you and head top you. So
yeah,
I think you covered everything else. He is the number one wide receiver. I believe he's the number one wide receiver, regardless of class. And that's to include Decorian Moore. He
yeah,
definitely clears him. So
yeah,
that's what I would say. I say we got a great one. They compare him to Mike Evans, but we'll see. I think they should just compare him to himself because he's so unique.
yeah. He obviously with the recruit this high, you're going to hear through this entire recruiting process people offering him crazy amounts of money. Is the dude a
Hmm.
flip possibility and all that stuff? I'm nowhere near that at all. I think he's in the class. I mean, he's got a special bond with Brian Hartline. Listen to all the interviews the kid does. I mean, he reps Ohio State all the time. He brought one of his teammates to Ohio State, trying to he's trying to, he's trying to be the leader of this class and bring kids in. So when you see somebody doing that, that's a pretty good sign that they're going to stick in the class. But
Right.
so the list we're going down, I can't remember if I said it. I'm going to say it again. They are the current offers that Brian Hartline has put out. So the next one I want to talk about is I want to call him Ced Morgan. I think it's Cederian, Cederian. How do you say that? Is that right?
Sedarian.
Cedarian Morgan.
Hmm.
He's the number 97 recruit nationally, the number 14 wide receiver. The dude is 6'4", 210 pounds from Alabama. Right now, I'd put it. It's a close race, like between Alabama, Auburn, but High State's in there. He's got really good height and weight, good hands. A lot of people are wondering if this dude's going to put more weight on or not. It looks like the dude can put on like 20 more pounds. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I was watching this film,
Hmm.
I couldn't get tight end out of my head for some reason. I just couldn't. I was like, bro, this dude needs to put on more because, you know, it, to be 100% honest with you, you might have a different reaction, but I wasn't that blown away by his film. I just wasn't. Maybe it's the competition the dude's playing against or whatever. But yeah, man, I know he camped at Ohio State in July and was offered there. And at that time when he was offered, he said Ohio State was at the top, but the dude's from Alabama, so it's gonna be pretty hard to pull him out of there.
I think that Alabama clearly is the leader. Um, you'll be kind of foolish not to think that. But this is Brian Hartline. This is wide receiver, and we're talking 26 class. So, I mean, I think there's a high chance, especially since we're not getting like the number one, number two, and number three rated wide receiver in the 25 class. And he did camp. I saw those interviews. I saw him interacting with Chris Henry Jr. a lot. They would make a killer combination with also JJ Smith, Optimus Prime on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't come, he doesn't come. We are chasing that other kid from Matter Day, and we'll talk about him later in the show.
Yeah,
But from the film I watched, Sedarian, for his size, he really has wheels for his size. He run 11.12 100 meter, which for 6'4", 210 guy is kind of moving. So,
yeah,
um, and that was his sophomore time. So you expect him to get faster and bigger at the same time. So I think I can see why you would say tight end, and I think a little bit of that has to do with what's in the tight end room right now. I'm wondering, you know what I mean?
It might, dude.
Um,
It might.
but I think he's a wide receiver through and through for real.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch like some of the clips that they have, you can YouTube it when he camped at Ohio State. He's pretty smooth in and out of the breaks. He's not as smooth as obviously Chris Henry Jr., who is the number one player in the class compositely. But I mean, the kid, he could move, he could scoop, and he could catch. So big body, he's a red zone threat. He's annihilating kids down here in Alabama in high
Yeah.
school in the red zone. So he would be a great get. I would love to have him and add him to the class.
Yeah, for sure. Along this process, I'm going to give you guys my top 3 receivers from the offers that we have.
Okay.
Chris Henry Jr. is my number 1, obviously, that I
Yeah.
want. Next one I'm about to talk about is my number 2, and it's Jabari Brady. He's the number 26 player nationally. He's the number 5 wide receiver, number 2 wide receiver in my eyes. He's an SFE kid. I've found he ran an 11-second 100-meter dash his freshman year.
Ooh.
The dude catches everything. He's a good route runner. He's got extremely strong hands, plays very physical. It's a hard pull from Florida, but Ohio State definitely has a shot. He did visit Ohio State. There is currently an RPM pick in for him to Miami. But, dude, I remember – I know 7-on-7 is a little different, but if you watch him in SFE, dude, the dude dominated, caught everything thrown his way. So,
yeah, I hope that we get him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, as a freshman, he caught 43 passes for 864 yards and 6 TDs. And he also got some snaps on defense. He's 6'1.5", 185 pounds. I'm not sure if you said that, from Pompano Beach. One of my best friends from that area. So is JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul. So they have some good athletes down there. This kid is smooth. He could run pretty fast, as he just said. And we need to break the U again. That's what it's looking like to me. What about you? Like, come on. Don't go to Miami, man. Come over here to Ohio State. You know where SFE guys flourish at.
But here's the problem that I think we're going to run into, and it's kind of the same problem you're seeing in this class. We went out and got Quincy Porter. I consider Quincy Porter, he's one of my top 3 receivers in the 2025 class.
For sure.
But then you go down the list, and they're very skilled receivers. But as far as ranking wise, they're not that high. And here's why: because when you're ranked a number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 receiver, you're going to require top of the line money. You know what I mean? And I'm curious to see in the 26 class what we do from a nil standpoint with the wide receiver room. You know what I mean? Do we go out and get, because, out of everything, well, I've seen this dude's recruitment the whole time, used to wear Ohio State gloves all the time, all that. I firmly believe that, if Brian Hartline were to go after him, like full on, wholeheartedly, he would pick Ohio State, right? He's had several interviews and talked about it and whatnot, but again, you got to wonder that with some of these other receivers we're even about to talk about, man, and it sucks you got to bring this up, but where are we at nil wise? What are we going to do with this group? So
yeah, that's a very valid point, and I like that you brought that up. That's exactly why we don't have DeCorian Moore in the 25 class, or Jamie French, or Vernell Brown for the most part, is the NIL, because you have to think about it. These NIL deals are pretty much 1-year deals, because these kids are still getting offered stuff behind the scenes through their agents or whoever it may be, their representatives, money to flip and hit the portal. So you have to think about it. Next year, they're going to have to re-up on Jeremiah Smith's NIL, and especially the season he's having. That's a bag you got to drop. You have to re-up for Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, Mylan Graham, even though he's not playing. But you best believe somebody's contacting his agent, like, oh, he's a 5-star. We know he's legit. Let's throw some
Yeah.
money. Maybe he's not happy he's not playing as much. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, like, the money, they have to be strategic on how they use their NIL money. Granted, we all as fans are like, who cares? Just pay him, just pay him. But this isn't monopoly. The money is just not falling off the trees. You have to go out there and grind and get it and raise the money as of right now. So we're going to see how they use it. And in terms of Jabari, are they going to give it to him? You still got to pay Chris Henry. Chris
Yeah.
Henry's going to command Jeremiah Smith money, like, period. He's going to
Oh,
command that top dollar. He's that
yeah.
good. So,
But they'll pay. They're going to pay Chris
oh
that
yeah,
kind of money.
absolutely. They already got the money set aside for him. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah. For
that's
sure.
where it plays in with the other wide receivers, how much they have left over. I wonder if Ohio State has like a allotment for each position group. Like the wide receiver room, you get this amount of money. O-line, you get this amount of money. Quarterbacks obviously going to get the most money. So you guys get this amount of money, DBs and so forth. So it's interesting to see how they're going to divvy it up right now, especially with the O-line recruiting being so below par compared to every other position group. I
Yeah.
think for some reason, I think they're going to throw a ton of money at that next cycle, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we did that this cycle and it didn't help. But I'll pull a Bucknuts Morning 5. I digress. So I'm going to move on to this next
Okay.
receiver who we offered, and I need your help a little bit on this one because, and maybe my eyes deceive me. I watched the wrong film. I don't see it. I'm just not. It's Devin Carter, the number
hmm
19 player nationally, the number 2 wide receiver, composite. By the way, Jabari Brady over on 247. For some reason, they have him down in the athlete section, but listed as a wide receiver. So we really don't know. They have him ranked as the number 2 wide receiver, and somebody else. So it's very confusing with what's going on over there. But anyway, Devin Carter, good receiver. I don't really think Ohio State's in it right now. He did visit Ohio State in November of 2022. He was committed to Florida State, decommitted, and Georgia's after him pretty hard right now. So,
Yeah.
but again, I watched this film, and I don't know if I watched it the wrong time of the day or something, but or if he's playing really good competition. Great receiver. I mean, don't get me wrong, fast, good hand, quick, and all that stuff. But I don't know. He didn't jump off the film to me to where I was like, oh, he's a must get type player. But I'm just a fan. So what you got, Melo?
Well, I can understand why you would say that, especially mainly with his size. I mean, he's only about 165 pounds, soaking wet, 6 feet. I'm gonna actually go check out his high school because they got a couple guys that are really good. Shoot some footage of that and see him in person. I haven't seen this kid play in person. I'm gonna be honest. Douglas
Yeah.
County is a little bit of a hike for me, but they do play pretty daggone good competition. I watched him cook Caleb Downs High School, Mill Creek. Um, He's definitely fast. He's a smooth route runner, which you expect at 6 feet, 165. You should be able to get in and out of your breaks pretty quickly. Um, but I can understand he's not like one of those typical Brian Hartline receivers that you're like, yes, we got to have him. He's a Chris Henry, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis type of player, but he's very solid. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of it has the upside with his father being a former Florida State running back and a first round draft pick in the 1990 NFL draft
That'll
for
do
the
it.
who played for the 49ers and the Jets, and his brother plays wide receiver at Georgia Southern. So, I mean, they're probably going off the little genetic tree. I know, for instance, when my daughter talks to colleges and coaches, they always ask if she has siblings and if the siblings played sports and if they played in college. Like, they like to connect that dot because it's almost like, all right, well, it's been proven with the siblings. So if we jump out here on this one, like, more than likely genetically is not a fluke. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
another check the box type of thing. But yeah, Georgia is definitely on him heavily. I know that for a fact being down here. They talk about him a lot. If we don't get him, is it the end of the world? Absolutely not.
Yeah. The next one we want to talk about is the one Melo hinted at earlier. He is Chris Henry's teammate in
Hmm.
California, Caden Dixon Wyatt. Um, the rankings here, in my opinion, are extremely off, but they have him as the number 144 nationally ranked player, the number 24 wide receiver. I got him at 6'3, 185. Very strong hands, dominates 50-50 balls. Very, very, very shifty after the catch. An absolute red zone nightmare. 4.76 40-yard dash. It was kind of hard for me to find a bunch of times on him. So I don't know. They didn't even get that was his freshman year or what, but
Right.
he's a top 3 receiver in the class in my eyes. He's an SE, isn't he an SFE kid as well?
Yes.
Yeah, out in California, like I said, he visited Ohio State for the Akron game. After that game, he was interviewed, and he said that the development obviously stands out for getting wide receivers into the NFL. And Ohio State is on the top of his list right now, is the top of the list right now as we stand right here. Would love to get him. Him and Chris Henry would be okay. Him, Chris Henry, and Optimus Prime. Good freaking luck, dude. I mean, good freaking luck. But I foresee him, maybe I'm wrong, I foresee him being shooting up these rankings and being one of those top end wide receivers that's going to draw some pretty big money. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, he has a 39-inch vertical as well. I'm just gonna flat out say I want him in the class, period. Like,
Yeah.
I really want him here. He fits, he's the prototypical Ohio State wide receiver, 6'3", 185, like Dev just said. He fits perfectly in the scheme. He's exactly what you would think a Brian Hartline receiver looks like. Just the opposite of the previous receiver we were talking about. So I want him in here. He is huge. He's great on the goal line. He could catch fade routes and fade balls easily with no problem. So yeah, I want him. We need
Yeah.
to get him. I think we can get him. I think we will get him. It's going to be a battle because right now USC is on the come up right now. I still not sold on if they're legit or not because I don't think that highly of LSU. I also don't think highly of the team up north. So we won't find out for a while. Maybe if they make the Big Ten championship and play us, we'll see what they're really made of, or if they make the college football playoffs. But as of right now, I don't know. But I think there's a lot of hype around that program, and they're starting to draw attention. They just landed Jerome Miles today, so
Who
we're gonna have to
did?
battle. USC did,
Did they?
yeah, he committed to USC. So
Okay.
we're gonna have a battle on our hands for to get this kid, Caden Dixon White. I know Oregon's gonna be on top of him too. And you know Oregon is just throwing out stupid money at kids.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
my
But go
bad. I
ahead.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nah, finish your butt. Go ahead. That
But
was perfect.
I'm glad we're seeing what we're seeing, and I think the outcome of the season, the outcome of when we play Oregon, is going to show you what handing kids that kind of money does. I've said it 100 times. I think it just takes away some of that hunger, man. And
Yeah.
I'll keep saying it. And I think it's going to get more obvious to kids. I really, really do. And I pray and I hope that these kids have good support around them, and they don't, because even some of these agents out there, man, some of the stories I hear about Nil and what these agents are doing, it's very disturbing, and I hate it for some of these kids. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, of course though, because these agents would have cut of it. And at the end of the day, you're saying like the money and the hunger for Oregon. What I'm saying is the development and the coaching. I don't believe in their coaching staff. I don't care. People are high on Dan Lanning. I used to be one of those people. And I started watching this film when his play calling, when they were playing Washington last year, the going for it on the fourth downs and the type of plays he's calling. The same thing he did in the Idaho game and how his play calling was in Boise State. He's a risk taker. I feel like they're underdeveloping these kids. And if you go, any kid that's watching, go ahead and watch Malachi Stark's little podcast that he has going down there. And I hate to plug a UGA podcast right now, but they have a Oregon transfer that's on the team, and they asked him what camp was like at Oregon in comparison to UGA, and the guy looked at him with a stale face like he was stupid. He was like, "What? How was it?" And he was like, "Was it comparable?" And the kid said, "Absolutely not." He said Oregon was like a camp. They had short practice days, and they got to go home every night. They weren't staying in hotels. So to me, what that shows is a direct correlation on how Oregon started this season as well. I think they just took it lightly. I think Dan Lanning is more of a I'm your buddy and I'm your brother type of coach and leader, more than I'm demanding this and I'm demanding excellence and my foot is up your butt if you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So I think when the belt to ass happens on October 12th, a lot of kids' eyes are going to awaken. And if Naeem's on that Oregon sideline in duck gear, I hope Denzel Burke and Davidson Igbenogson and Caleb Downs walk right up to him and say, "Take that green crap off. Like it looks like, take it off. You're a
Yeah.
Buckeye. Come over to our locker room. Let him know that you're not flipping over there. Shut it down and just commit to the development and grind your face off. You're going to get paid,
Amen.
brother."
Yeah. I like what you said about Dan Lanning. The truth is a head coach needs to be able to hold people accountable. And the truth is that a hard truth most people don't want to hear is that friends don't really make the best accountability partner all the time. It takes a rare friend to be a good accountability partner and actually hold you accountable. But hey, dude, here's where I start to get a little bit excited because I went down through the rest of this list and they're not all necessarily they are. They're lower ranked kids, but there's a lot of speed coming up with these kids, and there's some very good receivers. I put little stars beside film that jumps out to me and, certain attributes. And I got a lot of stars down here. And I want to talk about Donovan Murph, 6'3", 190-pound wide receiver from Columbia, South Carolina. Number 223rd nationally ranked player, number 36 wide receiver. The dude has sneaky top end speed with long strides. He plays fast and hard, good hands. I really like Donovan, man. Clemson was his first offer, and they're after him pretty hard. He did call Ohio State wide receiver U. Said he grew up watching Ohio State and said Ohio State is high on his list. So you're going to hear me say this a lot, that I really like this receiver. The lower half of this list, I think, is Brian Hartline sneaking in there and offering some receivers that don't necessarily have a bunch of the big boy offers. But when you go and you look at these kids, you can see why he offered them.
The most intriguing thing for me in terms of this offer has nothing to do with his play or his grades or his attributes. It's the September 1st, 2024 offer from Ohio State being followed by the September 2nd, 2024 offer by UGA Bulldogs. And if you notice this, I noticed it with Jerome Miles as the first time. When we offered Jerome Miles, the very next day or two, UGA offered Jerome Miles.
Really?
And you're going to start noticing UGA is going to start trying to chase after the offers that Brian Hartline is offering kids. But what UGA doesn't understand is that your wide receiver coach is not like our wide receiver coach. He's not like us.
No.
So
watch him play this year.
Yeah, first off, your wide receiver coach didn't do this in the league. Ours did. Your wide receiver coach doesn't develop. Ours does. You guys don't throw the ball to your wide receivers like that. We do. So, you could offer the same guys that we're offering. You're just going to have egg in your face.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I noticed first and foremost. What's your thoughts about that?
That's an interesting observation. I didn't notice it. I do. I've noticed that from other teams in the past. I kind of noticed it with Oregon a little bit this year. I felt like they were really narrowing in, not just our wide receivers, but a lot of the players that we were offering, even the not so highly ranked ones. It just kept feeling like it was a battle between us and Oregon, and makes sense. I mean, we're the winningest, college football team in the last how many years? What is it? 10 years, something like that. So, I mean, we're on top of the on top of the charts when it comes to that. We're by far the most consistent program,
Easily.
college football in the last 20 years. But next player, Naeem Burrows, number 79 nationally, number 11 wide receiver. He's 5'11", 160 pounds, out of Florida. Ran an 11.08 100-meter dash. He was offered in May. He visited Florida and Florida State a couple times. Not many offers yet. He had 51 receptions for 1,099 yards, 16 TDs his sophomore year. His track speed definitely translate to on-field play very well. Plays physical. He's scary off the line. I would bet he's probably going to go up in the rankings a little bit. Very good blocker, physically built, and he camped at Ohio State June 6th. I can't remember if that's when he got his offer or not, but he's another player with a star beside his name for me. I really like what I saw when I saw this player.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a crazy list of offers, but like he has the ones that matter for that position: LSU, Ohio State, and Alabama. Arguably
Yeah,
the three best wide receiver schools in the past decade. So, I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know about Naeem. I love the name too because we have another Naeem that needs to stick.
amen.
There's a little tradition right there. And he's a Florida kid, so
Yeah,
top athletes down there. This kid is definitely fast. He blazes. I
yeah,
mean, he's more in the lighter weight, so you expect him to kind of be fast, but I mean, still fast is fast. It really doesn't matter.
yeah. You go watch his film. People have a hard time tackling this dude for some reason. Oh,
Yeah,
dude, he's like running through him.
it real.
Hey,
Hey, what? When did you say he camped at Ohio State?
June 6th.
Okay, yeah, that he got offered May 14th. So,
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yep. So he
which
came
is
and
kind
camped
of
and got offered.
that must mean not if he got offered before he camped, especially at that position, he has to be legit, man. Because Brian Hartline normally makes you camp first.
Yeah, I know he does. Next player, man. Can't believe I haven't heard of this kid before, to be honest with you. Connor Salmon,
Hmm.
number 35, 135th nationally ranked player, the number 20 wide receiver out of Virginia, 6'1", 190, a former running back converted to wide receiver. Had over 1,000 yards with 16 TDs in 10 games. He runs a, is this right? Did I mistype this? 10-4-4 100-meter dash? That's got to be wrong, right?
Didn't find that might be right. I didn't
Okay.
find his 40 time though.
Yeah, natural pass catcher. Running after the catch is crazy. You kind of expect that from a converted running back. Takes the top off defenses. He called Ohio State the best receiving school in the country. Camped at Ohio State in June. Penn State, Notre Dame, and Georgia are after pretty hard. But this kid flies, dude. Absolutely flies. And you watch the film and you can see it all day long.
Nah, that's the right time. Man, is he too fast to play here? Hold
Bro,
on.
I'm telling you,
Can he
dude.
run
Like,
the
look
whole
at,
route tree? Because if he can't run the route tree, I don't even want to
bro.
talk about him because we got Jaden Ballard that flies. We had J-Mo that flew. I mean, but these guys couldn't run all the route tree and they couldn't really get on the field.
I know.
If this kid can't run the entire route tree, then like, see ya, go to Georgia.
Gonna be known. Yeah. Gotcha. He fast though, man. He
Yeah,
fast.
he is fast. He's worth taking a flyer on at the end of the day. Definitely
Yeah.
got top end speed, so I would
Yeah.
say take him.
Yeah. You got to remember um the scholarship number increase as well when we're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
that's
the
a good
receivers.
point.
Remember that as well. Next player, Braden Robinson. Got another star beside his name, dude. Maybe I
Yep.
was just having a good day. I don't know what's going on, but the number 233 nationally ranked player, the number 39 wide receiver, 5'8", 160, tiny. Ran a 10.89 100-meter dash as a sophomore out of Texas. In 8 games, he had 1,038 yards. Very fast, good hands, great at making people miss. He camped at Ohio State June 11th and said Hartline is the best in the business at developing receivers.
Oh my god.
Notre Dame, Texas, and Oregon are in on him pretty hard.
So I got here that he ran 10.47 as a freshman and 10.44 1 800.
Braden?
Yes.
Hey,
And if you looking at
I'm
his
telling you.
film, this dude is getting gone.
I know, bro. I'm telling you, I put a
He's like
star beside his stuff, bro.
dude, nah, you gotta put 3 stars by him. He's the perfect slot, dude.
Yeah, they
Like,
have him
who's
ranked
gonna
as the
keep up
number.
with him?
They have them ranked as the number 39 wide receiver nationally.
Yeah, because of his size, man. I'm telling you,
I
that
know.
matters. But
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
terms of the slot, he is perfect. Like he's small enough that it's hard for you to jam him because he's dude. This dude is quick,
Yeah.
man. If you guys
Yeah.
can go pull up his film, hopefully we're new to this, so in terms of using this platform, but hopefully we can somehow figure out how to put this huddle highlight because this dude is ridiculously
Yeah.
quick.
We will be having the huddle highlights on probably the next recruiting video we do.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
why I'm just
please
not
go
thinking of
check
it.
him out, man. You'll be wild just like I am. I mean, oh my goodness, bro.
Because I know how to do it, bro. I bet you I could do it right now.
Yeah, this kid's freaking huddle is
Oh,
insane.
no. See, I'm screwing stuff up, dude. Here I go. What I do? Oh, Lordy.
What do you mean what you do? It looks
I don't
exactly the same to
know.
me.
Well, I know,
We'll
but
just
on my
try to
end of
do
it.
it. We'll do it on the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah. All right. Hey, next player didn't receive a star from me, but Madden Williams, the number
Mhm.
248 player ranked nationally, the number 42 wide receiver, 6'1, 180 out of California. Strong, powerful receiver with very good contested catch
Yeah.
situations. He's a clever route runner who knows how to get open and can line up outside or in the slot. Very advanced route running and has very strong hands. Definitely a highly competitive receiver, but it is Oregon, USC, and Miami currently right now that are really in on him currently.
I got a feeling that he's gonna stay out west. He's a St. John Bosco kid. We don't really get kids from there. And I mean, honestly, he definitely looks very highly polished, and you would that's something you would expect coming out of St. John Bosco. But I wouldn't say like his speed wows me. He does look like he has traits for Ohio State receiver in terms of his size and his route running, which is pretty good. But he's not a burner
Yeah,
from what I could tell. I couldn't find any verifiable times on him.
yeah,
But he's definitely a good route runner. He's not going to give a lot of separation.
yeah,
So
yeah. You never know. Hartline loves those route runners, man. So
yeah, he
you
does.
never
I
know,
just
man.
think it's hard to pull a
Yeah,
Bosco kid.
definitely is. Next one, man. I believe is the next wide receiver to commit to this class. It is Jaden Ricketts out of Ohio. He's 6 foot 6 foot, 187 pounds. Currently has an RPM pick into Ohio State. I believe somebody just put that in not too long ago. He showed out at camp. That's when he got his offer. Got a lot of potential. Loves Ohio State. Ran a 10.88 100-meter dash. So he's got the speed.
Yeah.
But he's going to end up in the class. He's not ranked like at all anywhere. But it's Brian Hartline. Trust in Brian Hartline.
Yep.
And that I do.
Exactly.
Yep.
Same here. I think it's a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of when, not if, for Jaden Ricketts to end up in this class. And I'm cool with it. 10.8 is good speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's probably projecting to be a slot receiver more than likely, which always had that two-way go. So looking forward to him being part of our class.
Most important thing, though, kids from Ohio, bro. I love getting
Absolutely.
Ohio. They understand Buckeye football.
And they understand the rivalry, and they understand
Yep.
about developing and staying and being part of this, and their family coming to see them, and less likely to flip.
Yeah, I love it. Next one, Mike Brown, the 268th nationally ranked player, the number 44 wide receiver, 5'11", 175. Ran a 10.91 100-meter dash. He's got good hands. He's a smart player. Nebraska and Scum are after him currently pretty hard.
Yeah. For me, I mean, he definitely has great hands. I know it says he has a 10, he runs a 10.84. It's just kind of hard to see that on the film, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I guess he's more straight line speed than he is quick for me. And with that size, I would expect him to be a slot receiver. I think there's better slot options in this class than him. But if he comes, then that means he's willing to work and grind his face off and be here to develop, because he definitely needs some more development, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Next receiver that has an Ohio State offer, Ryan Mosley. He is the number 334th nationally ranked player. He's the number 50 wide receiver, bigger receiver. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Georgia. He's not ranked very high, but he has offers from all the big boys. Ohio State offered him in June. South Carolina and Georgia are after him pretty hard right now. 11.27 100-meter dash, very physical player. I watched this film. He's definitely a very good blocking receiver. He's definitely not afraid to get hit, and the dude's got good hands. So another player out of Georgia, going to be a hard one to pull. Another one of those bigger receivers, but I like our chances with some of these other bigger receivers that we've already spoke about in the class. But I like the offer. I like the size. I like the athleticism. We'll see how it goes.
To be honest with you, I think we could get this kid. I've seen him get interviewed
Oh,
on the Southern Swing, and he's pretty high on Hartline. Guess who his quarterback is?
who?
Juju Lewis, the
Really?
USC quarterback. Yeah. So like he's dotting him
Oh.
up. And then
I wonder if it's one of those cases then when if their quarterback's making them look super, super good. No?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I think he's good, but I mean, Juju. Before I saw Tavian St. Clair this year and the new and improved Tavian St. Clair, Juju was it for me in terms of quarterbacks in high school.
Yeah.
Like he is phenomenal. But yeah, I probably give a lot of credence to that statement.
Yeah.
But he's still very good.
Yeah. Next player, wish me luck with this pronunciation.
I know you're gonna mess it up. We
J-
apologize early.
J- Jerquaden. Jerquaden Guilford. Bro, it ain't funny, man. You do it. Oh, what the heck, dude?
No, that's probably how I would have said it too. But
That
for some
it.
reason in my head it's saying Jerquaden. I don't know why.
That sounds way better. Jerquaden Guilford. He's the number
Uh,
579 ranked player nationally, the number 98 wide receiver, 6'1", 174 pounds, out of Indiana. Good friends with Mylan Graham. Called Mylan
ooh,
Graham his brother. Yeah, he camped at Ohio State in June and earned an offer then. Penn State is currently after him pretty hard, but you got that Mylan Graham connection there. So out of Indiana. So we'll see. You never know.
yeah, I mean, I like our chances. If Hartline wants him, Hartline's getting him.
Yeah.
Especially being out of Indiana, that's just an extension of Ohio.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The next player got a little star, but got one of Devin's stars. I need to make up a name for my stars,
Yeah, you do.
like the Cujo star or something.
Yeah,
But
that works.
Messiah Hampton, the number 553rd player
Hmm.
nationally, the number 90 wide receiver. He is 6 foot, 170 pounds, out of New York. Scum also offered this kid. He camped at Ohio State in June and he left with an offer. Called the offer the best offer a wide receiver could possibly get. He also plays safety. This dude ran a 4.49 40-yard dash. He ran a 10.65 100-meter dash. And to me, might be his competition, but very impressive film. Very hard to tackle, extremely athletic, good at high pointing the ball, very good at contested catches, but doesn't play the best competition. He was an all-state high school player. But the dude's doing exactly what he needs to do with this competition. I read the competition thing somewhere. So when I say that, it's not because I'm knowledgeable about the high school football in his area. That's just what I
Mhm.
read somewhere. But when I looked at it, he was making it look like he wasn't playing very good players. So
He's
there you go.
he's I feel like he's a sleeper. He is 100% underrated. There's no
Yeah,
doubt about
dude.
it.
Bro, yeah, that's
There's
what
no
I'm like.
way his ranking, his
Yeah,
game film does not equate to that ranking. He is
no, bro.
extremely underrated by
You
like a
got any
lot.
stats on him? I was very curious what his stats ended up being. I mean, I saw a couple plays. Not sure he's got the best quarterback thrown to him, but so maybe that. But funny stats on him. Let me know because I only got one more player to talk about.
Yeah, I believe I didn't see any touchdowns, but I believe he had 42 catches for 700 yards.
Okay, gotcha.
But at the same time, I mean, he's literally annihilating uh these kids. He had 950 all-purpose yards as well. But like the speed and like there's other guys that we mentioned and they're saying like he was a 10-8, but the speed didn't equate on the film. This kid's speed translates. Like
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious he's
yeah,
fast.
and first hit never takes him down either.
Never.
That's what I noticed at the film. He would make a crazy catch, and then somehow it looks like he's going down, like somebody's got to tackle this dude, and just runs right through arm tackles, great balance, all that stuff. So I mean, I
He
love
looks
the
like a
kid too.
gymnast, bro.
I know,
Like
I
he
love that.
really does. Like for his
Yeah,
size, you would think at 170 he would get hit and it would be over. But he literally pulls away from guys that have 10 yards on him and an angle. And
yeah,
he's pulling away from them.
yeah,
I would love to have this kid,
yeah.
honestly. And
I,
I know
I,
like the area where he's from Rochester, New York. I was stationed in North Country, which is like Watertown area, just north of Syracuse, close to the border of Canada. It's not
yeah,
too far from Rochester. So like this kid has to be tough. Rochester is a pretty tough area too, and all that snow there, like he could play outside and handle the weather.
yeah. Love it. Next and last but not least, Brody Keefe, number
Hmm.
97 wide receiver, which is, I, I don't know, crazy to me. 6'3", 185. He's got offers from Georgia, Tennessee, FSU, Scum, Clemson, Auburn, South Carolina. Underrated receiver, in my opinion. Catches everything, runs routes well, runs a 10.74 100-meter dash that translates to football speed as well. So
And I'm gonna
this
be
dude,
honest. I think his kid he's a take. He's in the class. I believe he's gonna end up in the class.
really?
Yeah, he got hit up on the Southern Swing. Then he came and camped and got hit up by all of our beat reporters, and it was the same thing. I think it's going to come down to us or Clemson, to be honest with you. But I would love to see him come over to Ohio State, man. When's the last time we had a white receiver?
I
It's
know.
time to switch some things up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the kid's got like a 3.95 GPA as well. All the camp videos you watch of this dude, it's 110% effort every single time. Very confident kid, very smart kid, and I have heard a lot about this kid. That's why I was surprised when I looked him up to see that he's not even ranked nationally. It's like maybe some of the recruiting services, because this is a composite, so maybe some of them don't even have him in their system yet. But I mean, I can think of three receivers I already talked about that he's better than. So, you know, I
And my
think,
bad, I gotta take that back. Not Clemson. I meant Tennessee, the other orange school.
yeah, I was going to say, I do have Clemson on my list, but I couldn't, I thought I was wrong when thinking the Tennessee thing. Cause yeah,
No, it was definitely Tennessee. It was my
yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah, all
Um,
good. Well, that's the end of the list. Definitely you expect more offers. He's not done yet, I believe. Do you know the total number of offers that is?
16.
Yeah, it is. 16 of them. I wonder how
Yep.
many wide receiver offers there was last year.
Man, the only thing that concerns me about Brody Keefe He's from Charlotte, man, and Tennessee has like a death grip on that area.
Yeah,
But
we just learned that, or you learned it pretty good, didn't you?
yeah, I sure did, man. Thank you, David Sanders. It was an awesome commitment. All your little classmates were talking trash to me on the way out after you picked
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Hey, don't let us find them freaking 16-year-olds on the street, boy. I'm telling you. If you're watching this, you be trying to pick on us Buckeyes, you got another thing coming.
I was the
You
only
watch yourself.
Buckeye there, and I told him Natty season. And then, of course, David, I told him you guys got to make it to an SEC championship before you mess with the king over here. You know what I mean?
Get him, dude. Hey, all right, Buckeye Nation. We appreciate you watching, man. Look forward to more of these videos coming out. We're going to do each position group, might bundle two together, not really sure. Hopefully, we step our game up technology wise. We can get some huddle film rolling at the same time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. We do interact in that section. If you comment, we will respond to it. You want to come on the show, man, shoot us an email, thebuckeyeboys@gmail.com with 3 Z's. Tell your
And there's
family about
something
us.
I wanted to after you're done, I want to read a little Bible verse that was on my heart today that I want to
100%,
put out there.
100%, man. I'm done. Do your thing.
All right, so this Bible verse is coming from the New Testament, the NIV version. It's Matthew chapter 6, verses 14 through 15.
I know it.
And it reads as, "For if you forgive others of their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others of their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive you of your trespasses." In essence, if you're not willing to forgive other people that have done wrong to you, no matter how hard it is or what they have done, then you can't expect the Lord to forgive you when you go meet him on judgment day. And I think a lot of people out here could use that and instill it and really put it in your heart to forgive others, no matter how small or petty or how large it is. Um, just for me personally, I went to war. I was an infantryman. They call us the door kicker. I was on a hunter kill team, and I lost some friends. And honestly, I could hate and curse the Taliban for the rest of my life. They took some good people away from me, right from their family and their children. But as I got older, I realized I needed to forgive them. And the forgiveness isn't always for the other person. A lot of it is for yourself. And once I truly forgave them, not just to say it, but meant it, I felt a burden of my shoulders and chest just relieve, and a lot of stress go away. So I implore you guys to hear that word and that message and apply it to your lives if at possible. I know it takes a lot of time to get that level of growth and maturity, but I believe in every single one of you guys, and I believe you can do it.
Amen. Beautiful message, man. When I was stuck in addiction, dude, for the longest time, uh, trying to dig in and find out what it was, but forgiveness was a huge part of it. But forgiving myself was a huge part of it too. So if you struggle with forgiving yourself out there, just understand that the Father that created you, the Father that loves you more than anything, He forgives you, man. Right? When He was
Yep.
hanging on a cross beside, thieves and murderers, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Right? He
Yep.
sat down at a dinner table with people that were not perfect, that didn't do the right thing. He didn't come to heal the healthy. He came to heal the sick, man. So, spread that love, spread that forgiveness. It's a beautiful message, Melo. I'm glad you brought that up, dude. That unforgiveness, it kept me in a prison for the longest time in my life. And it is, man, for the most part, forgiving somebody's for yourself. Because if you don't think that unforgiveness in your heart is affecting your life, I promise you that it is. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of strength, a lot of support around you to get through, some stuff like that. But Yeah, man, Melo, that was a beautiful message to bring up, dude. I appreciate you, dude, for sure. God is good, man, and He
all the time.
knows exactly when to bring stuff up, dude. I love it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. With that being said, man, we'll see you next time. Go Buckeyes. OH.
IO.